Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next segment, Inside the Mind of a Social Impact Entrepreneur. It is my privilege and honor to invite our next speaker, Ms. Vandana Suri. Vandana Suri is the founder of TaxShe, a unique and practical solution for the safe mobility for women and kids. Vandana is an ex-investment banker turned cabbie with a lot of pride. She is a World Bank Award winner for her impact in the space of women and child safety. She is also a TED speaker. Welcome to the Summit Up, Vandana. We are all eager to listen to you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Vandana Suri. I'm the founder of an organization called TaxShe. Firstly, it's such a pleasure and an honor to be at this platform talking to all of you. Thank you, NSRCEL, for this. I'm an incubator at NSRCEL, and that's how, yes, they love me. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been an investment banker, and as a woman, something was really, really raging up in me. We've always been unsafe. We've faced abuse, I think, right from the day we were born at multiple stages in life. And while we change, while we wait for governments to change, I decided to do something about it. So there was a rape incident in an Uber in Delhi in 2014, where the headlines came the next day that if there was a woman driving me, this would not have happened. And that headline the next day, and this was post Nirbhaya, that headline the next day really, really triggered me into like, why are there no women drivers? What's going on? Why? This is so much a need of the society. And that immediate trigger made my life change. I decided to start up taxi. I decided to become a taxi driver simply because I really wanted to understand what was going wrong out there. And that's how I set up taxi. Taxi ko taxi bana diya. That's as simple as it goes. So when I became a driver, a taxi driver, I realized what was it that was stopping women from getting into this industry. Firstly, I felt unsafe. So if I'm driving any random man in my car, I feel unsafe. I'm on the edge. I fear that I could get raped and molested. Second thing, the current cab structure is very, with the Olas and Ubers, it's very different. You're on an app, you get a demand, and you just roll. So you really do not know where you are going to be as a cab driver. I may be staying at one point in town, and my drive may be at somewhere else. I don't feel at home. I don't feel grounded around my safety zone. So that became a problem again. The third thing which was a problem was that um, you know what is my timing like? The regular cab structures are the men are driving what 16 hours a day. What happens to my washroom facility? There are no toilets around here. I mean, or they're so bad anyways, right? So as a woman, what am I going to do about that? And what if somebody's sick at home? Again, that also, I wanted to be closer to my home. I wanted to drive no risk people in my car, and I needed to have some sort of a timing, right? And this is where the business model of taxi came into play. What we did was that we built up the business around the driver's comfort first. So we built up a business where she is dropping women and children. She's dropping kids to schools every day. It's like your alternate school vans, right? She drops kids to school every day. Her routes are fixed. Her clientele is fixed for the whole year, as well as she has a flexibility to go home. Okay, she's dropped kids, she goes home, and then she comes back again, right? So she has the time with the family. Her work life balance is there. Now this became a very, very interesting model. We had way too many clients than we could service. Parents were calling from across the country, and we were one business where We really didn't have to put a single paid ad till date. It's 6.5 years. I haven't put. There is huge demand. We realized that these women now were beyond taxi drivers. They were alternate moms dropping kids to school. They were stopping child sexual abuse while on travel. And this gave them the purpose also. That's where the stickiness, suddenly motherhood became a career, right? So this was the first segment. So we also realized that, we had to train these women had never sat in a cab before. They didn't know where to put the key, right? So we had to train these women from scratch, from the marginalized communities, into professional driving. Now, while driving is a skill and everybody thinks, oh, it's so easy to do this, imagine if you, as an educated person, were suddenly given a flight console. Would you be able to fly the aircraft? No. It takes time. So we realized that their driving training itself had to be done with a lot of sensitivity, with a lot of encouragement, constantly somebody believing in her. And that was what was working. So we ran driving training for these women for 4 to 6 months, okay, to put that entire professional skill, to be able to go out into the market and nobody should ask, hey, listen, how new a driver are you? No new driver is wanted. Nobody wants a new driver, right? So then that's how much we had to build up her driving skills. Beyond that, we taught her self-defense, not that she ever needed it, thankfully, because she's driving women and children. We taught her self-defense. We taught her a little bit of medical support, CPRs. We taught her grooming, how to get job ready. We taught her English. So we backed her up with a lot of confidence building trainings beyond just a technical training. Now, this woman started driving kids to schools and tuitions. Then evenings she would drive, your corporate women, and then the late night airport drives who was coming in. So here we are impacting lives of a lot of people. One is the woman who has a life skill. The other thing is bringing safety in mobility. Touch wood, it worked very well for us. What happened during the pandemic was a washout because schools were not there, corporates are not there, airports were shut down, and basically mobility took an absolute hit. We were raised down to the ground, literally back to 6 years back. I mean, we were at zero, as simple as that. Now, what did we do? How did we survive this? That was a very interesting story. So during the lockdown, while mobility was at a crash down, we started doing emergency drives. So we actually, again, we drove kids. We drove kids who had got separated from their family. Somebody went to grandma's house and then 46 days lockdown was called for. That child had to be brought home. So we again became that mother for the child, bringing the child back to his parents, right? We did a lot of, senior citizen drives. We did a lot of drives for pregnant women. They have to go for their scans, lockdown or no lockdown. So that was the kind of very intense and a very emotional business that we did. Beyond that, we found something else that really helped us. So now, post-COVID, people were scared about taking cabs. Any public transport was a fear factor. What do we do? I might get COVID in the car. You don't know who's the last client who sat. Is that person vaccinated, not vaccinated? So a lot of, as far as the society was concerned, there was a lot of conversation happening as to why not to take public transport. On the other hand, this was also an opportunity for us because women started feeling very claustrophobic at home. Most women were not driving, as I'm talking of women like you and me. They were stuck in their homes if they were dependent on their husbands, their brothers, or somebody to drive them. That came about as a demand for us that women wanted to learn how to drive. Now, in these last 6 years, I had anyways trained so many women cabbies how to drive. So we converted the same skill into a business model and we call it the TaxShe Break Free, where we started training women clients how to drive on their cars. And I must tell you, this was a blessing for us. It saved us and the confidence of the women that we trained how to drive, we've really, really changed lives. There were some women who were always told, Nana, you can't drive, women can't drive, very highly patriarchal homes. And today, suddenly, there's this pride in them when they go out and drive their own cars, when they drive their own children. Their children are looking up to their mothers right now with a lot of pride, right? So I feel, again, this was an impact that we were creating in individual homes per se. It was beyond just business. Uh, and while we are speaking, we realize that how do we now scale this up, right? So we have a cab business, we have a driving training business right now, but how do we scale this up? We went one step ahead. We worked on partnerships. So a lot of women in the middle and upper middle level management lost their jobs during the pandemic. And you and I both know that once we've lost your job, you know how difficult it is to get another job, right? And especially for women, there's a huge gender bias out here. Our salaries are thrashed down like nobody's business. So now what does somebody who's 40, 45, 50, she's reached a certain stature in her life and now she's lost her job. What does she do? Does she go back to ground level or does she become entrepreneurial, set up a business? This is what we recommended to women. So if women who've lost your jobs, if you had about at least 3 to 4 years of driving experience, I could train you how to become a trainer and train clients. There's business out here. So we started a franchise model, right? 15 days of intense training on the ground. Driving your own car is different, training somebody else is different. So 15 days of training you gives you a livelihood right now. Women are making easily, the women on the independent basis are making about a lakh a month right now, just out of this. It's just getting back. And a simple, I don't care what you've studied or you've not studied. I don't care what field you are from. As long as you're a woman, you know how to drive and you can convert that into a livelihood as a business vertical. And actually you can't even imagine how much the customers are going to praise you for this. My clients are sold out on the fact we have 40-year-old, 50-year-old women learning how to drive with us. We've had 18-year-old daughters coming in. Parents are very, very happy with daughters going and learning from a woman instructor. It's just worked out fantabulous. So when we set up these franchise partners across the country, we are able to scale because now that franchise partner is my certified training partner. Not only is she training clients, she can also be training the marginalized women who in turn join back into the cab structure and keep more women and children safe. You know, uh, it, it's it's just building on levels of entrepreneurship. In fact, while I speak today, we decided to take this even one more level up. Tomorrow, I am launching what is called WOMB, which is called Women in Mobility Business. So at every level, whether at the driver level, whether at the training level, whether at a business owner level, whether at a business development arm, I am currently creating an industry around mobility solutions for women and kids. And I never thought that I would ever scale this way, but the pandemic has taught me how to do this right. For once, something has gone right out of the pandemic. Yes, I went financially zat, ekdam bottom down. I was broken down financially. But I think when you are broken down, it actually gives you the strength to survive. You fight back. Your fight back instinct is the highest when you're at your lowest point. And that is what makes you bounce back. So, the way I look at it for a social entrepreneur, the day you see your zero, right? Think of it as a buzzer to bounce back. You need to you need to push that buzzer. I'm sure you all have seen your zeros. I have seen multiple times. Interestingly, now when I see zero, I know I'll bounce back. I'm fully confident of what I'm doing. I know I will have that. In a video game, you get those extra boosters, right? So suddenly you're weak, and then you get a booster point, and boom, you're up and full of energy boosters. So I think failures or breakdowns are your energy boosters to boost you up further. I just hope that people listen to the story. I just hope that uh, something inside you are able to bank on. um, I don't think you need to give up ever in life. There's always something that you can absolutely turn around in your industry. This is what I have to say. And, please do leave me questions, connect with me if that's something which would be very interesting for you. I'd be very happy to support you in your own journey as well. Don't give up. If you're doing something good, stick on to it. You'll sail through. Your good is what will make you sail through. Thank you so much for all the time.